guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to review Twisters.
Twisters.
The long-awaited sequel to Twister from 1996. And I honestly didn't know it was long-awaited, but apparently a lot of people are going out to see this movie, so I guess they've been waiting for it.
They are. We were indeed in a packed theater.
We were, which was kind of cool. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've gotten that a ton in recent months.
Yeah,
sure.
we actually had to go to a theater that we don't normally go to because the shows were sold out. So
Yeah, when's the last time we had to deal with that? I don't
I don't know.
can't remember. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Twisters in this review today. So before we get into it, hit the subscribe button and also
like this video.
like the video like she said, and then leave us a comment down below. Did you go out and see Twisters in the theaters? Let us know in the comments section, or do you plan to go see it? Let us know as well. And what were your thoughts if you did? Okay, Twisters.
Yeah.
Let's start with you.
You always want
I
to
always
start
want
with
to start
me.
with you because, you know, I'm the one talking, so it just feels natural to shift to you.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is about these tornado movies, you know, but they make you want to be a storm chaser by the time you walk out of there.
They do. They do. I mean, the first one had that effect, you know. It just makes storm chasing feel more glamorous, I guess, than it probably is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, I'll just say right out of the gate, I'm not super nostalgic for it, so I don't feel like I had this, you know, wall built up like you typically do.
I do. I'm guilty.
You're very guilty. And so I will just put that out there. But I felt like that this movie was exactly what you would expect for a, you know, summer blockbuster. I felt like it was a lot of fun. The cast was great. Lots of chemistry. I felt like the story was good. Like, I really don't know if I have anything bad to say about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing at all?
I don't know. Maybe you'll evoke something from me, but...
Just going off of what you said, the wall that I build up, I generally do that, you know, when I go into movies or sequels of movies that I've loved since I was a kid.
Let it down.
I have that going into Beetlejuice for sure.
do.
But I
You
really
do.
tried to just let the wall come down.
Yeah.
And just enjoy the movie for what it was and not have all that attachment. And I guess it helps that this really has nothing to do with the original.
Right.
It feels like a pretty standalone movie. Not really a continuation or connection with anything that happened in the first one.
Yeah. I will say, though, just quickly, that you know that it's in the same universe because they do show the Dorothy machine.
They do.
So, other than that, though, I feel like that's the only connection.
It is. There was one line that she says that I appreciated because I knew it was a callback.
Okay.
But besides that, that was pretty much it.
Was that like, do you think it was directly like connecting the universes, though, or it was just like a nod to the original?
It was more like a nod.
Okay. Well, what was it? Or is it a spoiler?
It's not really a spoiler, but it's, you know, when he says, "I'm glad you're back," and she says, "I'm not back." That's something that Bill Paxton says a lot in the beginning of Twister, so I appreciated that. But
Gotcha. But yeah.
I agree with you. I think this is a really fun, you know, blockbuster popcorn film, and I think we need movies like this. I think it brings people in, it entertains people, and I didn't think that Twisters was going to be the movie that everybody was waiting for to go to the theaters and have a fun time watching. But look, I hope that this opens the door to bring back like good natural disaster movies or just disaster movies in general, because that's one of my favorite genres, and it feels like it's gone a little extinct over the past like 20 years. I feel like Roland Emmerich really killed it with his movies like 2012 and The Day After Tomorrow. I'm not a huge fan of either. But we did get Greenland recently, which was a good disaster
that was
film.
good.
So
yeah,
I enjoyed this one. I've got my nitpicks. I mean, I don't feel like, I feel like in the original, the Twisters themselves had like identities and they were like recognizable, and you knew like when you were getting to this Twister and this Twister, and all the Twisters in this just felt like the same Twister to me. Okay. They all looked the same, so that's like a small nitpick that I have, but other than that, it was fun.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I kind of disagree.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to spoil the tornadoes for you, but I feel like, you know, I feel like that they kind of separated them by like where they happened, and you know there was one in particular that I'm thinking of that was a little bit different.
Yeah, they had some gimmicks, for some of the tornadoes,
Yeah,
for sure. It's a small nitpick. It's just a nitpick
yeah,
because I've seen the original like 50 or 60 times.
yeah.
And all the
Do
twisters in that movie just feel like their own characters to me. And it's like, I know we're getting to this twister and this twister. And that, it always felt like a progression. Whereas this one, it's just, they all just felt
but
the same to me. I don't know.
you've only seen this movie once.
I've only seen it once.
You
You're
just
right.
said that you know when the next twister is coming because you've
Yeah.
seen the other one.
You're right. I just don't feel like I'll have that same feeling on repeat viewings of this one.
Again, it's
first impression.
It's your nostalgia again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was kind of worried just with like this day and age, with the whole CGI stuff. If it was gonna be, realistic, or if it was gonna be too CGI looking for me. I felt like it looked good.
They looked good. They
Yeah.
looked good. I still think the twisters in the first one looked better. I don't know. I hate to go back to the original. You're looking at me funny already because of it. But I really do. Like, I genuinely think that the twisters in the first twister looked more realistic, whereas this one, there's just a lot of winds, a lot of extra fluff around the tornadoes. It just, I don't know, like the beginning tornado, like there's just so much like going on. The air's like whooshing everywhere. So you don't even know where the tornado's at.
Mm-hmm.
You just know it's somewhere in the cloudy space that surrounds them.
I mean, you don't know though. Maybe that's more realistic.
It could be.
You never know.
I have never been in a tornado before.
Well, knock on some wood. 'Cause
yeah, let's knock on some wood there.
yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I felt like it was fine. I enjoyed.
It felt a little exaggerated to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me, the selling point of this movie was the cast.
Yeah.
I felt like, everybody had good chemistry. I felt like everybody was interesting.
I felt like, Daisy Edgar-Jones, who plays the lead. I don't remember her name in the movie. I don't know if you do, but I thought that she played a really good leading performance.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on her name as well too. But yeah, I was kind of worried about her. I've seen her in stuff that's good, but I've also seen her in stuff that I didn't love. I think one of her more recent things was Where the Crawdads Sing. I think it's what it's called.
So I've never seen her in anything, I don't think.
Which was based on a book. And I don't know if it was really her that I had a problem with, or if I just couldn't get into the movie. I actually didn't even finish the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was necessarily her fault or not. But she was in that movie we watched, Fresh.
Oh yeah, that was her.
Yeah,
that was her.
and
She was good in that.
Yeah, she was in something else too, and I'm drawing a blank. I might have to pop it up here if I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that she was really good. And I mean, hello.
Just a strong lead performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt like if we're gonna compare to the original, I felt like she was very comparable to Helen Hunt's character.
Yeah, she did.
She
have
had some spice to her, some wit.
She had that Helen Hunt energy, and I'll give this one a little bit of an edge over the original. I felt like she led the movie better than Helen Hunt led Twister back in the day. So that's one thing I can give to Daisy Edgar-Jones in this one. I thought that because I feel like the entire movie and the story was really on her shoulders, and it was Glenn Powell's in it, but it's really centered around her and her character.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas the first movie is centered around Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, the combination of the two, and she kind of had to do it all herself in this one.
Yeah,
and I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Glenn Powell, I feel like he's kind of on my radar for just being this next.
He's very entertaining.
Yeah, It Man, Hollywood Man.
Even the Hitman, we weren't too positive on that movie. He was still really good in it.
He was still really good, yeah. It was just the ending that took me out of it, which wasn't his fault. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I just really enjoy watching him. He just has such a charisma to him. You can just tell that he loves doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he played the tornado wrangler, and he was also a YouTuber, so he was
that was
vlogging
kind of funny.
everything.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting, more modern day angle.
Yeah, what did you think about about the YouTube thing? Was that kind of funny?
Yeah, I liked it. It provided because this does take place almost 30 years after the original. You got to
Right.
have some kind of a modern twist on it, and I think
Right.
that's perfectly in line with what a tornado storm chaser would do
Yeah.
nowadays. Like I've seen them on YouTube, and we're looking up like the weather in our area. Like there's storm chaser YouTube channels
Yeah.
that have like people on the ground, and they have their little hubs and everything.
Yeah. And, also this one, it definitely has more of that, like, country feel to it.
Oh, the country music soundtrack is very very is very deep. I feel like.
Yeah, which, to be fair, like, I'm not like I grew up loving country. I haven't like been as into it like in recent years. But it's fine. Like I can get down to a good country song. I feel like to me it made sense because hello, we're talking about Oklahoma. Like it is a country yeehaw state. So
Yeah.
for me, I just felt like the country music was like it just made sense to me, and so I kind of enjoyed it. It also made it feel different from Twister.
Yeah.
And so
I would have appreciated one little snippet of, Humans Beans from Van Halen in there.
Right.
Just a little Van Halen.
Yeah.
Like, would it have killed him to throw that in there?
Maybe it
I
would
don't
have.
think it would have.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that this was, it was just really good. And again, I really enjoyed the story. Like the story was really good.
Good
you
setup
know,
to the story, I think.
like the opening is it's pretty intense. And, this movie definitely doesn't hold back from taking out some people in a tornado.
That's what I was going to say. I don't want to spoil anything, but this movie definitely doesn't care to kill people.
Yeah.
And kill people very often. Because, I feel like the first one holds back. Like, and there's like one big death, like when you get towards the end. Well, there's one big death in the beginning,
Right.
obviously, but then, like, as for the actual movie, most everybody's pretty safe, or even if they're not safe, they don't show them dying.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
movie shows deaths throughout.
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed that they weren't afraid to throw that in there, even though I feel like they knew, probably a lot of families would be going to see this and stuff.
Yeah.
We did go see it as a family, and, I sat beside our daughter, and whenever, spoiler alert, someone would get, like, sucked up or whatever, she would just look at me and be like, oh my gosh, like like it was super effective
Well,
for
it's
her.
not like graphic or anything.
No, yeah.
You just see them disappear into the tornado and they get sucked
Yeah,
away.
and
Sometimes it happens.
in our theater, I think the best that we've got is it's called XD, and I couldn't tell you what that means. I don't know if it's like better sound or whatever. Bigger, I think it's bigger screen,
sound,
better
bigger
sound.
screen, yeah.
We don't have that like 4D experience around us yet or anything,
no.
which would have been really cool for this movie, but. Even with what we had, I felt like, in those big moments, I did feel myself kind of like tense and like just because I'm scared of like storms and stuff anyway. And so I was just kind of like putting myself in that situation, and I'm like, ooh, like, okay.
Yeah, it definitely gets pretty intense. I will say, visually, I like the way that this movie looked. It's probably not shot on film, but there's certain moments when I'm watching it, and it feels and looks very grainy, like it was shot on film. So it kind of has that like really that nice like filmic look to it.
Yeah.
That you would see in movies back, in the day, the 80s, 90s, and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I appreciated that. It definitely hit me in my nostalgic feels.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I felt like it was really great. Definitely, like, met my expectations. Might have met them even a little bit more for me. I was pretty excited to see this anyway, but yeah, overall, I had a good time.
Just a nice, fun experience at the theaters.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel like we need more of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays. So, what's your score?
So I'm gonna score it, and I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
All right,
I'm gonna give another 4.5. I gave Long Legs a 4.5, and I'm giving this one a 4.5. I feel like for the type of movie that it is, like it gave me what I wanted. It's gonna be hard to be like a perfect movie. So 4.5, it's fun. Go see it.
Yeah, I won't give it that high, but I'll give it a solid 4. I was teetering back and forth on a 3.5 and a 4, but I'm gonna be generous and I'm just gonna give it a 4 because I do think it's a fun time.
Are you reliable or generous?
I think it's a fun time, and I had fun with it. I have my problems with it, but my problems are like nitpicks that not a lot of people are gonna have.
Yeah.
So Or maybe a lot of people will have it. They are fond of the original. Who knows? But Twisters, that's our review. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, leave us your comments down below on what your thoughts are on the film if you've seen it. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.